on to your butt.
Hello and welcome to the Hold On to Your Butts E3 special for the Microsoft press conference. Just two of us here today, me and Wyatt. That's Brogan and Wyatt coming to you live here, getting ready for the E3 press conference from Microsoft. We had a little bit of a pre-show on last week's episode, but we wanted to get together here about 30 minutes or so out from Microsoft's actual press conference and give some of our final thoughts, what we think we might see, the things we expect to see. I'll put it this way: the things we expect to see, the things we might see, and the things we want to see. If we can kind of like keep it into those three categories, the things we definitely think will be there, and the things that we think have a chance of being there, and then the things that we would just lose our minds if they were there, kind of a thing. So a little bit of an abbreviated version of what we did last time. I will start it out. I think, Wyatt, the one thing that we can guarantee that we will see is Scorpio.
They've already kind of announced that, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of out there. I don't know if they announced it, but it is.
Yep.
It is Scorpio, and honestly, I think that's kind of a double-edged sword or a win-lose.
They got to be careful.
Thing. Yeah, I mean, they got to be careful on how will it live up to what we want it to be, and will it be as amazing as they hope we think it might be?
Yeah.
But the one thing I was thinking about. That when I think it comes to successful E3 conferences and successful, like personal, Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo, is we want to see the new systems, and that is like a big announcement. But it's what we can do on those systems that's important. What are the things that we can do, and that's play games. And so if they focus so much on Scorpio and they don't follow it up with some games that we can do now or in the very, very near future, I think they're going to fall flat. It's like, great, 2018, I'm going to be able to buy Scorpio for $5,000. But what can I do in the next 2-3 months? What can I do in December and November when Christmas comes out? What games are coming out now? I want to see gameplay. I want to see what I can do. And I think that's where they got to be careful.
Do you know what I think we'll see a lot of to that point? I think we'll see, hey, here are all the games that are coming out before Scorpio launches. These are some awesome titles. But I think they'll lean really heavily to say this will also be playable on Scorpio in 4K. Like they'll say, you can still get this game now, and if you're planning on upgrading to the Scorpio later, don't worry, we've got you covered. You can play it in 4K, but don't miss out on the experience now, when the game comes out. Don't be afraid to buy it. And I think part of that is going to be their strategy to say, yeah, I know you could get this for PlayStation, because they've got the PlayStation Pro, and you can already play this in like an upscaled 4K, whatever. But don't do that. Wait until the more powerful system, the Scorpio, comes out. So you touched, in your discussion there, you touched on a couple of things that I wanted to cover. Number one, the price. What do we think this is actually going to cost? I know we threw out some numbers last time. I think they have to keep this thing under $500.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to make this something that... Because classically, when PlayStation 3 launched, it was $600. It caught so much flack for that. And it's still, through the life of the cycle of the PlayStation 3, had a hard time living that down. Now, I know that this isn't a new system. This is a iterative update to a current system. But... to make people buy it, you have to at least make it feel kind of like a new system, right? I mean, For all intents and purposes, is this the new Xbox? I mean, it's kind of muddied. The waters are a little muddied in terms of, is it actually the next step? But I mean, it kind of is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I got to dig a little bit more into the specs, which I see all these things like specs release.
6 teraflops.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
And I guess I really didn't do any research, or maybe I should have before this. Research on what is the power behind it, and I'm like, well, and then compare it. So, what is the new PlayStation thing called?
PlayStation 4 Pro.
So compare it to the Pro, compare it to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Is it incremental or large? And
from what I understand, all of the tech comparisons between the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One, or Scorpio, or whatever they end up calling it, which is my other thing I want to go over. The Scorpio is by far more powerful. It is native 4K, which means, in layman's terms, the PlayStation 4 Pro isn't run in native 4K. It upscales texture packages to be 4K, but it's not running natively at 4K. The Xbox One will actually run in 4K like a computer does, like a high-end computer can, based on processing power and everything else. And most games that we see for Scorpio will be in 60 frames per second, which is something on the PlayStation 4 Pro. What you traditionally do is you can choose between 4K resolution or 60 frames per second, much like you can on a PC, where you go in and you can mess with all of your video settings and say, hey, I want to do this, or I want to, I want my textures to be less cool, but I want to make sure my gameplay is fluid because I play online multiplayer, whatever that is. PlayStation 4 Pro, I have one of those, and it actually does allow you to do that in some extent. So you can go in and you can tweak, I want to favor frame rate over resolution. But for all intents and purposes, the Xbox One can do both. Now, here's another thing that I struggle with a little bit. I am a tech whore. I fucking have to have the newest thing all the time, and I want to have the prettiest looking thing. Is the difference between 1080p and 4K really that staggering? I don't know. Because I have the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I know that some games look a little bit better, but is it enough to get some people to get off their butts and go spend $500 on a system?
Well, yeah, I guess that also falls down on the game developer. Do they utilize the capabilities that the Xbox One and the Pro and all that stuff? Does it take advantage of that?
Yeah.
And if it does, then yeah, I think you'll notice a difference. The one thing when it comes to the specs and deciding whether the new system is truly a new console or just a reiteration is we got to dumb it down to the layman's term. Mm-hmm. So when you look at NES to Super NES, you see a difference. When you look at Super NES and Sega to 64.
PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, you see a huge
difference.
difference.
Even Xbox to Xbox 360, you saw the difference. I mean, we just watched Halo 2 not too long ago.
And Xbox 360 to Xbox One, not as staggering of a difference. I mean, definitely a difference.
It definitely is a difference. And so unless I see a difference, I'm just going to be like, it's just a better Xbox One. But if I see a significant difference, then I'm going to say this is the new system. And what capabilities does it have? So, you could throw all the tech in your face all you want, but I need a side-by-side or something like that and be like, I can visually see the improvements here. You can say, oh, this is so much better, and this is better, this is better, this is better. But that's that's voodoo to me at this point. I want to physically see a difference, and I want to play something more seamlessly and better off. And I think that's where they need to go.
That's one of the biggest challenges I think that they're facing though right now, right? Is because most people are going to watch this thing not on a 4K screen and not on a stream that's streaming in 4K. So if they show a game off for Scorpio and say hey, look how pretty this game runs on Scorpio, people that have a 1080p monitor aren't going to see the improvement, right? It's just not possible. So it's how do you actually get this in front of people and have people see it and be or believe in the promise of 4K gaming? It's hard to do because people can't see what the difference is just by watching a stream or a trailer for a game online on their 1080p monitor.
Yeah. So I think that's why they have to. Do you think they're going to come right out I think they're going to come right out the gate.
Definitely.
And just say, This is our new system, because they can't come back. They can't show games.
Yeah.
Unless they're not going to make it some kind of backwards compatible kind of thing, because they can't show a new game and then say it's also going to be on Spectre.
We're going to see so much of? We're going to see so much in the bottom corner of every game trailer. It's going to say running on Xbox Scorpio.
Yeah.
Why
do
every
I keep
single
calling
one.
It Spectre?
I don't know. It's cool though. Okay. Well, this brings me to another point.
What is the title?
What is the name of it going to be?
I think I'm most excited for that. I don't know why.
I feel like
it's going to be dumb.
I'm going to be let down. It's probably going to be Elite. It's going to be the Xbox One Elite. That's kind of where I think the smart money is, you know what I mean? Because the controller's already out, the Xbox One Elite controller. I think the 360 came out with an Elite version, right? It was a black version, Xbox. And it's got some Halo lineage to it. To me, I think that's probably where the smart money is. I wouldn't be surprised.
What if they call it Circle Box? Or something straight up, just we're going to blow your fucking... I'm going to be best conference ever.
Wouldn't it be sweet if they just called it Fuck PlayStation? That's the name of it.
I would switch. I mean, if I was a PlayStation, I'd be that's the greatest name ever. I'm switching over.
Good for you guys.
Good for you guys for doing that.
I wouldn't be at all surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't if they named it the Scorpio. Because I feel we've seen project names in the past. Remember when Kinect came out, it was Project Natal.
Yeah.
And they called nothing has been leveraged quite as much as Scorpio. Scorpio to me, they've said it so much that it already has a brand value that I wouldn't be surprised if they just stuck with Scorpio and called it the Xbox Scorpio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm an Xbox fan. I prefer PC, but I'm an Xbox fan. I think that Microsoft is not going to have a stellar conference.
Yeah.
I think the Scorpio will be fine. I think we'll like it. Generally, be impressed by it. Maybe there's going to be like, oh, it's too expensive or the name's a little weird. But overall, not many games. I'm not going to lie. I think we're going to be let down on the games.
It comes back to what are their exclusives.
Yeah.
You know? So what do you think the launch titles are going to be then for the Scorpio? Because I know Crackdown 3 has been long gestating. Yeah. I think that would not be a surprise. You know they're going to do a Forza. They're going to show a sexy car. Like, they just love doing that.
Crackdown 3, yeah. I like Crackdown 1. I never played the second one. Man, but I'm not going to lie. I think all the games that I'm excited about are not exclusive. So unless they got some Halo game coming out that blow our minds.
So this kind of gets into, I'm going to cut you off. That sort of gets into the next phase, like what we think, what could be there. This isn't quite into like the blow your mind.
Hope, yeah.
This is like what I think could be there. So the head of 343 Industries said that Halo 6 will not be there, but there might be something Halo related. That was like a direct. I'm paraphrasing, but that was somewhat of the quote that they said. So to me, here's what I think the writing on the wall is for that. I wouldn't be surprised if Halo 5 was a launch game for Scorpio. Now, what I mean by that is they do like a retro upgrade to the graphics and have like a 4K resolution option for Halo that upscales the texture packages and makes it more pretty, and then maybe adds a few multiplayer maps, and then maybe adds like a secondary campaign mission. Like nothing crazy, but maybe it's a couple more missions that like expand upon the story of Halo 5. So it's almost like that Halo 5 like Part B, you know what I mean, or Halo 5 or Halo 5.5 or something, where it adds on like a little bit or something.
Again, maybe. I mean, again, that all comes down to when Scorpio gonna get released and when is the new Halo getting released. Is Halo important enough to me?
I just want to say you have not gotten the codename right one time. You just called it the Scorpion.
Scorpion.
This is unreal.
That's new Xbox is what we're going to call it.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're going to... I don't know. I just feel like, to me, if they said, hey, would you rather wait for the Scorpio and play Halo on that? Or would you rather just have Halo in November? I'd probably go with Halo in November because, honestly, I'm still... not convinced I want the Scorpio.
Yeah.
Now, if they say, it's going to be a launch time for Scorpio, and that means I have to get a Scorpio, then by all means I'd be pissed. Now, if they say it's for both, and then again it comes down, when is Halo getting released? Do I have to wait till 2018, third quarter 2018, because they have to release it with the Scorpio? That's going to piss me off.
Yep.
If it's ready in November, I want it in November.
In terms of like the what could be there too, on the same note, let's talk about VR for a second. So PlayStation has sort of proven the success of console VR. PlayStation VR has sold a ton of units. It's still difficult to find in stores, and people are saying, there's a couple great games that have been coming out for it. Star Trek Bridge Crew, which I think got mediocre reviews, but still seems like a great party game.
Yeah, I think that game is supposed to be really good if you have your friends, and I think that's where it is.
So does Xbox come out of the gate with Scorpio and like show off a headset? Is it Oculus, or do they say at Xbox we're working hard to bring the perfect VR experience, and we'll be able to share more of that in 2017. You know what I mean? Like later in 2017. I wouldn't be surprised if it was that, where they said there will be a rich VR experience to be had on Xbox Scorpio, and we'll be able to share more of that at Gamescom or more of that at, PAX or whatever it might be. Like, I don't know if they want to, because to me, they only have so much time. And if they're going to show a new system, they have to show games. And they can't show two new systems, which would essentially be the Xbox and the VR, and then cram in some games at the end. You know what I mean?
Who owns Oculus? It's not Microsoft.
Actually,
right?
It's Facebook. Facebook owns Oculus.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So, do they really want to go that route, or do they want to, go with what is good? So say, hey, let's partner up with Oculus and just make that, the new system with Oculus be very powerful and do all that, or do they want to say, hey, down the road, we're going to create the Microsoft version of it?
If you think about it from like a straight business standpoint, if this new Xbox is capable of running Oculus, I don't think you see it like packaged in with it. No. But from like Oculus' standpoint, they're like, wow, we have an opportunity to sell more units. We have like a new venue like a new path to sell more of our units if it can be had on a console experience, then great, someone buys this, and then if they already have an Oculus or something, or their friend brings their Oculus over, whatever it might be, they're like one-to-one and you can cross over. That kind of fits in with Xbox's like Play Anywhere motif, right, where they're like,